All right, everybody, welcome into A Reel and a Beer. This is my personal Super Bowl show. Anybody that knows anything about our channel knows that we weekly do craft beer tastings and have been for a long time now. And every single beer, minus I think 2 or 3 ever, that's been on my show has came from this place right here. This is Tyson's Fine Wine and Things, located in Anniston, Alabama, right near Golden Springs, Winn-Dixie. We can put the information in the bottom so you guys know exactly where it's at. Long story short, I got my man David Prosser in here. He and his wife own this place, and they've been open for how many years? You guys been open and been in the family, Janet's family?
Since 1946.
1946. And you guys not only do the craft beers here, you also do wine and picture framing in the back, correct?
Right.
And a lot of people think that, you come up and you see this place and you wouldn't even know they do picture framing in here, because when you first walk in, we have a shop, and then you walk to the right, you have your craft beer. You walk to your left, you go into a whole nother world of wine, which you'll see on this video. But basically what we're going to do is break it down into sections for you. And right now, David does a great job of showing you exactly what he has in here craft beer wise, and the way he has it broke down into sections. And he's a little misleading because he says he has 199 bottles of beer on the wall, and there's actually 230 maybe?
Something like that.
Somewhere in the 230 range. So it's he's underselling himself a little bit. But I'm going to quit talking and let my man David take over, and he's going to give you a little bit of tour on his wall right here, and I love it. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you. When we get new people in, I try and introduce them to the setup on the wall, and go through and explain how and why we've got things set like we have, so I'll just handle it like that. As mentioned, we brag that we've got 199 bottles of beer on the wall, but we don't allow singing. Across the top, on this whole row, all the way across the top, are beers that are made in Alabama. All of these are pretty much sorted by their company that they come from. Then over here are foreign beers. We've got a row of beers from Germany, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Belgium. I point out to people that we have a beer called Elephant Beer. And if you're an Alabama fan, it's my claim that if you drink Elephant Beer when Alabama's playing football, you're helping them win. If they lose, you didn't drink enough beer. Then I point out that I'm a Navy fan, so I drink the beer that's got the Navy goat on it. And a couple years ago, we were 11-3 just because I drank this beer. But so far this year, we're 2-7, and so I may have to change a brand.
Hey, you got to start drinking more of that Navy beer.
To forget. Down here, my best-selling beer comes from Iceland, which was just something that we discovered, and people have tried it, and they keep coming back for it. It's a nice, light-tasting beer. We also have some wines and some ciders. The rest of the beers are from all over the United States. I think I've got somewhere around 25-30 states covered. All of the beers are individually priced. You can buy one beer. You can go through and make a 4-pack, a 6-pack. If you want to be the coolest person at the tailgate party, get 99 bottles of beer and see how many new friends you get. And by the way, we have sold that. A lady bought 99 bottles of beer for her brother when he turned 21. So you can mix them any way that you want. They're all individually priced, and I can tell people just which ones are new, which ones are best sellers, etc. But I can't tell you what they all taste like because I've got a shop to run, and so I haven't tasted most of these things. But that's up to the individual.
Leave that up to me, guys. That's us. That's where we come in. Now, one thing I do know, David, that you're always constantly rotating. That's one thing I like about David, and you can't see it in the frame right now, but he always has his new stuff on the table here, and they actually do tastings on Thursday night, correct?
On Thursday nights we have primarily wine tastings in this very room. We'll have 5 or 6 wines, and then we'll have 2 or 3 different beers that people have an opportunity to try. The whole philosophy is only you can decide whether you like one of these beers. Your taste buds are different than mine, so it doesn't do me any good to say I like the taste on it. So if you're curious, you buy one beer. If you like it, you buy it again. If you don't like it, you're glad you didn't get a 6-pack of that particular one.
That's right. I love it, and I do. That's what we do on our channel. Is and they may get sick of looking at me, but I'm in here sometimes 2 times a week buying new stuff, constantly rotating. And then another thing that I always find is always hidden gems is he has a section over here that you can see in the frame that the stuff that don't sell too good, maybe not just too good in this area, it's not saying it's not a good beer, he always does like a half off on it. And I found a lot of beers from our beer tastings from this section right here, a lot of hidden gems actually. Just because it's over there don't mean it's not a good beer. Like he said, it's your personal taste bud. Well, David, I appreciate this section of the video. We're about to shut it down and move locations. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming.
All right, everybody, a little bit moving on in the tour here at Tyson's Fine Wine and Things. We're here with Janet Tyson Prosser. Her family's the one who started this. What year did you say again?
1946, my father opened the business. He and my mom married in 47, and someone brought in a broken picture frame. And my mother repaired the glass, and the picture frame needed to be repaired also, and she repaired the picture frame. She gradually got into the picture framing business and then built her own building in 1977 for the picture framing. And in 2007, that neighborhood was not a viable neighborhood for the customers we dealt with, and so we moved to this location. I thought that we would not go into the wine business, and I had talked to my contractor, and he was going to take out this cabinetry that had been put in from the previous owner. He said, I'll take it out and paint the walls and fix it up for your office for $2,000. And I thought, I think for $2,000 I'll put some wine in. So $2,000 of wine filled up this room, and then we gradually spilled out into other parts of the shop, and that was a little bit more than $2 million ago.
Wow,
so
$2 million.
We've been selling some wine in this area.
Now, Janet, how many bottles of wine do you have on location here?
I have 600 different varieties of wine, and I probably have, I would say, 6,000 or more bottles in here.
Wow.
I'm not really sure. I would have to do inventory, and that takes more than 15
forever.
minutes to do.
Now, something really unique, and the reason we started our tour of the wine in this room is because the way this is set up. It's basically what I call the world tour of wine, which I'm going to let Janet explain exactly how this works.
Well, this is our wine import room. All of our other wines in the shop are California, Oregon, and Washington State wines primarily. But this room is set up for wines from around the world, and Dave, being obsessive compulsive, he says it's not OCD, it's CDO, because if you say it's CDO, it's in alphabetical order like it should be. And this is our equator. All the wines below this line are from south of the equator. All of them from north of this line are north of the equator. So I've got France, Italy, Germany, Austria, and Spain over here in north of the equator. And then below I've got South America, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa.
Now, the interesting thing about that is, again, when you get in here and you start seeing these things, a lot of people who just drink wine and like a certain wine, you go to that automatically. But just in here in casual talk before, she's told me about several different things. It's opened my world up to a whole nother world of wine tasting, wine taste for sure. And I can't thank her enough for that. And especially Odessa right here, which anybody that's ever been to my house, oh my God.
It's a nice little sweet wine from Italy.
Anybody that's been to my house has seen this baby right here.
But it's a full-bodied red.
And it's beautiful. That's one of the best ones. In casual talk, you told me about it one day.
And you will notice in a wine shop, if the wines are stacked up like we have right here, that means it's a good selling wine.
Right.
We have gone around and ranked our different wines by the amount of sales. So I have Odessa is our number 5 bestseller in the shop. This wine from Argentina right here is best consumed over ice with a lemon or lime in it. It's called a Tinto. It's the national drink of Argentina, and it's a very good seller here in our shop also.
I love it. Janet, we're going to move on in a different section of here.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're moving on in our tour right here. Janet, what do we have going on in this location right here?
These are our wines from around the United States. So I have right behind our camera the Recession Buster. All the wines are $10 and under, whites and reds and rosés. Over on the far wall, I've got whites going from lighter to heavier to the sweetest ones right here, the Rieslings. And then around the back of the room, I've got Merlots, Pinot Noirs divided by California or Oregon. On this wall, I've got red blends from around the world or from around the country. I've got Cabernets right here and over on this wall because Anniston, Alabama is different. We like Cabernet wines. And I have red Zinfandels over on this side and alternative reds like Barberas and Clarets and Petite Syrahs on this side.
The beautiful thing is, it don't matter what your budget is, it don't matter what your taste is, you got them covered.
Right.
I mean, it's no problem. And you can't see this right now because it's behind you, but when she says she has a whole section of $10 wines, she has a ton of $10 wines, and some of those are fantastic. Some of those, most of the ones at my house and in my wine case now is most of what she has on that $10 wall. Some excellent wines there. Another thing, I mean, you got stuff for special occasions. You got some really, really high-end stuff too here, don't you?
I do.
So you'd have that covered. So anybody looking to buy wine for wedding receptions, parties, anything, craft beer, she has everything you need in one location here. Janet, I can't thank you enough for the tour. I'm going to shut it down. We're not going to talk everybody's head off because we're doing a tasting after
All
this.
right. Thanks,
Thank you so
Bo.
much, Janet.
We're glad you're here.
This is A Reel and a Beer. We are out.